Christmas is coming. Isn't that exciting? I'm excited about Christmas this year. I don't know why, but I just am. Last year we were still going through the breast cancer journey with Kristen, and she was actually during that time getting radiation, and so there's just a lot going on. This Christmas, it's nice to have health and all of that. Although my son decided to try swinging without having his hands on the swing and was ejected from the swing, broke his arm, and Kristen is having fun with him today. So anyways, Christmas is coming. Now what we're trying to do this year as a company is we've heard that the carriers are going to be really delayed this year because of the volumes. In the summer, we know that we were getting orders out, we were sending out Priority and FedEx, and sometimes it was taking longer than expected. When we would call the carriers, they would say, well, it's because, we're at Christmas volumes already. And now that we're coming into Christmas, we just really anticipate that there may be some delays. So what we wanted to do this year was give you some early birds specials, so that if there was something you could take advantage of and get the shipping now, while there was still capacity, you'd be able to do that. And so that's what I want to do today. We sent out an email early. There were 4 products in today's email. I believe Thursday there will be a couple of bundles, so keep an eye out for them. And then next week, I'm excited by this, Ken Ham is going to be joining me, and we will be talking with Ken Ham. If you don't know Ken, he is the president and CEO of the Answers in Genesis organization, the Ark Encounter, the Creation Museum. He has a new book that's coming that is Will They Stand? And we've got a package deal for that as well. And so I think that'll be really good. And that'll be played on Thursday. So love to have you for that. But we will send out an email reminder as well and have announcements on Facebook. Okay, so today's great early bird specials, great gift ideas. These are, you're never going to see these in a flash sale because they're just, they're a bigger, more expensive book. We have different imprints. An imprint is like a division of the company. So we have New Leaf Publishing Group is the parent company. We have New Leaf Press, which is our Hope and Inspiration division. We have Masterbooks, which is our Faith division, which writes, specializes in apologetics and homeschool curriculum and training. Then we have Attic Books, and Attic Books tends to take older books, that something like you'd find a treasure in the attic, and we've reproduced them, brought them back into print, reproduced them in a beautiful edition. Well, 3 of the books are produced, well, at least 2 of the books are produced by Attic Books. So one of the first ones is Flavius Josephus. This is a book of the antiquities of the Jewish historian works of Josephus. There's 6 books in one in this. This is a beast of a book, and it's gorgeous, isn't it? This back cover sleeve does come off. And so this looks awesome on a bookcase. But it's 6 books in one, an exquisite reproduction of the original circa 1850 printing, the fascinating compilation, markable record of the history from creation to around 100 AD. Monumental work includes a revered work by Flavius Josephus and additional scholarly text by William Winston. It includes the antiquities of the Jews, the history of the Jewish wars, the sequel to the history of the Jewish wars, Flavius Joseph against Apion, the life of Flavius Joseph, and 3 dissertations on Jesus Christ, Abraham, John the Baptist, and James the Just. Who was Flavius Joseph, you ask? You're asking, right? He was enigmatic. I practiced this beforehand, but I didn't get it. Enigmatic. It's that word right there that I'm not getting if you see it. Enigmatic. I had the word, I can't do it. Figure who compiled pivotal details of both early history and early church, Flavius Josephus, from 37 to 100 AD. He was a priest, a warrior, When I pastored, being a priest and a warrior would have been handy. Scholar and Jewish historian. Born in Jerusalem in just a few short years after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, he grew up under the Roman occupation, and saw the turbulent history of Judea that would follow. For centuries, his work was second only to the Bible in terms of popularity among some readers. For scholars, both then and now, Josephus remains a figure beset by questions of his actions during the Jewish revolt, and his subsequent support and embrace of the Roman citizenship and government to follow. However, the remarkable caliber of his writing is renowned without question. Best known for his pivotal volume works, The Antiquities of the Jews and the Jewish Wars, Josephus remains a much-studied source for modern scholars, cited as a source for Archbishop James Ussher in the Annals of the World, which is also available, and we'll cover that as well. Somehow I hit that. Okay. Let's see. Through this work, historical sites have been discovered and greater understanding about the cultural, historical context of the early church has been developed. And so this has actually like steel engravings that are through the book. Let's see, I need to find one. There's 60 engravings that were reproduced and put into the book. Here's one of Jonah, remarkable detail. So this is just a really cool book on the history of the Jews. It was interesting to go through and look up a couple of historical accounts in the Bible of different people like Jacob or even Moses was another one that looking at the history through the historian's eyes. So, really cool product. This is a $70 book, $69.99. It's $41.99, so you're saving $28 on this book. If you have somebody who enjoys history books, especially Jewish history and something like that, this would be also, if you live in the contiguous U.S., which means basically the lower 48, shipping is free on this book. So that's like a phenomenal deal. You're getting 40% off and free shipping on this book. So if you know somebody that maybe has everything but likes to read or history, this might be a really good Christmas present for that person. Okay, next. Next we have Pilgrim's Progress. Now, Pilgrim's Progress is, I remember reading this in school, and the story of Pilgrim as he journeys into the celestial city. It's a phenomenal story. This is, again, another attic book. You'll see how pretty this book is. It's got the gold plating. It's huge. I mean, it's just a nice looking book. If you want somebody to think that you are all that, look at two of these books sitting on your bookshelf. Looks very impressive. Okay, but this book actually contains multiple books by Bunyan, and Pilgrim's Progress is probably his most famous work, and I know for a long time Pilgrim's Progress had sold more copies than any other book next to the Bible. I don't know if that's still the case, but I know that at one time that was definitely the case. This has a number of books. It has his memoir, Pilgrim's Progress, The Holy War, Grace Abounding to the Chief of Sinners, A Relation to the Imprisonment, Mr. John Bunyan's Dying Sayings, Christian Behavior being the Fruits of True Christianity, The Barren Fig Tree, Mr. Bunyan's Last Sermon, and The Water of Life. If you don't know anything about John Bunyan, the 17th century was singularly prolific in great writers, religious and secular. The one who is in his origin was the humblest among them, in his educational advantages the most unfortunate. John Bunyan is now, after an interval of a couple hundred years, the best known and the most popular among them all. Among these are Milton Dryden, Baxter, Owen, Howe, Henry, Archbishop Ussher, Bishop Hall, Thomas Goodwin, Chief Justice Hale, Cudworth, and Henry Moore were his contemporaries. Shakespeare was dead 12 years at the time of his birth. The rare repeating of these names gives us a striking picture of the richness of the age of the men of genius. But if we take into consideration the fact that Bunyan's greatest work, The Pilgrim's Progress, was the creation of a mind uncultured by education or associated with the learned, he must be accounted the most notable above them all. And if you do Writing Strands Advanced 2, we use Pilgrim's Progress. This would be a great resource to have with that. And in fact, I think it was out of this edition. We also have the digital available of it, but this would be a great one. This also is $69.99. $41.99 is the sale price that you're going to get it at, so it's $28 savings and free shipping on this as well. And I'll make sure that we put a link in the comments of Facebook and in the community feed of the app. So again, this is just a beautiful book, and the story of Pilgrim's Progress, it's a great family read-along. We've done that. We've watched the video to go along with it, and I definitely enjoyed and got a lot out of it when I was a teenager reading that. So if you have an avid reader, this would be a fun book to buy them, and but also a beautiful piece to put in your house. Sounds like the shopping network today. Okay. So I'm wondering in the Facebook group how many people actually were ready for Christmas. Like, have you started purchasing Christmas presents? Same in the app. How many people have actually purchased Christmas presents? Like, have you started looking and buying? Are you considering it because of shipping and concerns about shipping this year? Are you just saying, you know what, 2020 was just a rough one, we're just going to pass over Christmas? Love to know. Okay, so Annals of the World is a book that we have sold, I think, over 100,000 copies of Annals of the World, if I'm not mistaken. And this book is a classic survey of world history. It has, let's see, it was inaccessible for 300 years, translated in modern language, English, from Latin, traces world history from creation through AD 70, so it goes great with like if you're doing the ancients, this would be a great book to have as a resource. Over 10,500 footnotes from the original text were updated from works in the Loeb Classical Library by Harvard Press, 2,500 citations from the Bible and the Apocrypha. Usher's original citations have been checked against the latest textual scholarship, and there are 8 appendixes. And this of course, there's a limited amount of these editions left. We've been printing them for a number of years. We still have the soft cover editions. There's a handful of these that we're going to sell, and then I don't believe that we're going to reprint these. But this book, again, they have the ribbon, the gold plating. Let's see. Yeah, there's different dates throughout it. So Volume 1, The Annals of the World, deduced from the origin of time and continued to the beginning of the Emperor Vespasian's reign, to the total destruction and abolition of the temple and the commonwealth of the Jews, containing the history of the Old and New Testament with that of the Maccabees. Also, all of the most memorable affairs of Asia and Egypt, the rise of the empire of the Roman Caesars under Gaius Julius Caesar and Octavius Caesar, collected from all history as well as sacred and profane, and methodologically organized. Methodically organized by the most revered James Usher, Archbishop of Armagh and Primate of Ireland. Okay, so that we actually also have a book on James Usher, a paperback book. Anybody that would be interested, his biography, because the writing of this follows a biblical worldview and a historical account of the historical account of the biblical chronology, which is important for all of us. So we've got, and it does sound like the Shopping Network today. Yeah, it is. It does sound like Shopping Network. My assistant isn't here. What happens when your sister gets COVID? She gets COVID and she gets 10 days quarantine, but my Brittany has 14 days of quarantine, even though we believe she probably had already been sick. She's quarantined for 14 days, and she has about 6 days left, and is about to go insane. So she wishes she was here helping me, and I wish she was here helping me as well today. So, yeah, The Annals of the World is a great resource. Again, a great history book, great to go with the ancients. It's a beautiful book. This book normally runs $84.99. You can purchase it for $50.99 through the special and with free shipping as well. So normally you have to get $75 or more to get free shipping at masterbooks.com. Today on these 4 books, and this is going to run for a little bit, you're able to get these for much less and also free shipping. So another great resource that looks fantastic on a bookshelf. Okay. And last but not least is the Henry Morris Study Bible. If you're looking for a great devotional study Bible, I say devotional, but it's really more of a study Bible. If you're looking for a great study Bible, the Henry Morris Bible is incredible. For those of you who don't know Henry Morris was the founder, so to speak, of the modern day creation science movement. What is creation science? Creation science is the look at science that proves that the Bible is true in the inerrant Word of God, that we have a young earth, and the evidence geologically points to the fact that the earth is young, and that God created it on day 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Day 2, day 3, day 3, 4, day 5, day 6, right? Rested on day 7. Adam was created on day 6, and the chronology all follows suit to make it about 6,000 years old. The Annals of the World follows track with that and substantiates that. Well, Henry Morris started looking at things. One of his first books was called The Genesis Flood. And he started looking at the geology and saying the geology doesn't point to millions of years. It points to a global catastrophe. And we see these global catastrophes throughout. Like we begin to see the global catastrophes in Mount St. Helens, where what happens in just a period of a couple of days resembles what we see at the Grand Canyon and different geological wonders around the world. And so Henry Morris was the first one to point to it, because the church was deviating from biblical authority and saying evolution must be true. So they came up with things like the gap theory that said, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, and the waters surfaced over the deep, to when he actually began creation, there was this huge prehistoric gap, and something awful must have happened in there, and that's why we see the fossils and the dinosaurs, and all of that was bunk. And then we came to, okay, well then maybe it's the day-age theory, that maybe God used guided evolutionary processes to bring about life over millions of years throughout days, which really just doesn't even make sense. Why doesn't that make sense? If you don't know, let me tell you really quick. God created plants on day 3. He created the sun and stars on day 4. So you can't have plants on day 3, millions of years of plants waiting for the sun on day 4 and the stars. The Big Bang Theory would say there was a Big Bang and then all of this evolved. So the very order of things, in fact, I believe God in his providence realized that we were going to, as people try to say, that things just came about by time and chance, and so he shook up the order so that in order to believe it, you would have to really evaluate it. And so Henry Morris does a great job of through the Bible. It's a King James Version, and he presents just a lot of different really good notes and in support of the creation science, but also I've been very impressed by his interpretation and his notes, his study notes. For instance, here's a note, begat a son. Adam was created in God's likeness, whereas Adam begat Seth in his own likeness. Okay, so Adam was created in God's likeness. Adam begat Seth in his own likeness, but Jesus Christ is the only begotten Son of God. I think that's interesting. A lot of little notes like that, whereas you go through and you read so-and-so begat, so-and-so begat. So-and-so begat a son in his own likeness, but Jesus was the only one begotten of God. Kind of interesting. So again, this Bible, this is the genuine leather Bible that we're running on sale. It's a beautiful Bible. It has 2 bookmarks in it. It has a number of study notes in the back. The appendixes that can definitely be used to the providential timing, things like carbon-14 dating. Let's see, the evidences, pointing to the evidences, comparisons between a cursed world and a redeemed world. I mean, there's just so much meat in this Bible. It's just a great resource to have. So this Bible typically sells for $94.99 retail. It's $56.99 right now on sale. So you're saving $38 on this Bible, and it is free shipping as well. So you're going to get free shipping and a phenomenal Bible resource. So again, if you know somebody that you're looking for a gift that maybe has everything, all kinds of fun going on, this would be a great resource. So, okay. So those 4 items are on sale. Be sure to watch your email for some bundles that are coming on Thursday. There were some great flash sale products today. I think there's some still available. So if you haven't checked out the flash sale, be sure to check out the flash sale. Let's see, Rachel says, I got all of our Christmas presents bought before the election. Can't speak for my husband shopping. Yeah, it's not easy when you're having to shop for everybody. Yeah. Okay, Julie, I was on travel quarantine twice this year, not to do me being sick, but just because of the rules of our state. It was painful at times, but good on other hand to not have to go anywhere. Yeah, I think I'd go insane. Kristen says I'm like the worst person to be quarantined and holed up. So, all right, guys. Well, because we put them on, and sometimes it's nice to have a demonstration. If there's any questions about that, feel free to ask about those books. I'm happy to answer it, and we'll put a link up for you to be able to access the sales pages, and would encourage you to take advantage of those books. You won't see them again this low, especially with the free shipping on them. All right, hey, have a good week, and we pray that you guys, your homeschools are going well. You're blessed. Remember, even though that some days go, like when your son breaks his arm and has to have surgery, there are other times when the sun is out and that doesn't happen. Your kid doesn't let go of the swing set. So, okay, well, enough. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you later.